Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakthrough Moment podcast. Today's special guest is Dr. Fred, the real money doctor. Thanks for jumping on, Fred. Thanks for your time.
It's been a pleasure to be here. This is fun.
I'm so excited for this. For those of you who do not know Dr. Fred, his soul's mission in life is to help you get, protect, and enjoy your money, your life, and your retirement for longer. He's written 9 books. He's actually co-authored with Jack Canfield, Brian Tracy, Dick Vitale, and also the one and only Lisa Nichols. He really helps to empower individuals who want to achieve financial independence in less than 3 to 5 years without risking their money in the stock market. So I am super excited for this interview. If you're joining us for the very first time, the Breakthrough Moment podcast is around sharing successful entrepreneurs, business owners, and investors moments throughout their career where they had a breakthrough into the next level of success. And as they share their breakthroughs, us at home can also have breakthroughs as well. So without further ado, Fred, Dr. Fred, let's hear it. I'd love to hear some of your breakthrough moments.
I think the biggest one that gets most attention is when I lost $2 million in 6 months. It wasn't a fun thing. I was much younger at the time. Obviously, I had full age on me at this point in time. But I'm just a little guinea kid from South Philly, nothing fancy. And dad was a carpet layer, 4 kids in a 2-bedroom house. Again, just a normal blue collar kind of guy. Only had 2 years of high school. I quit. I joined the service at 17, tail end of Vietnam. And life was going fine. The dad came out and got a job in respiratory therapy. I worked there for 10 years, and that was fine. What the hell has this got to do with any money? Well, as a respiratory therapist, anything in healthcare, you're not making any money, you're making a living. And that was okay. But as you start to grow a family, and I was having a son on the way, I need more money. What am I going to do? So everybody looks at something part-time. And I'd always been entrepreneurial to some degree. A kid in South Philadelphia, way back when, you still shovel walkways with the snow. They don't do that anymore in the cities. Kids just don't do that stuff. But I had the paper route routine, shovel snow, painted with my uncle who's a house painter when I was young. So that spirit just stayed with me. And I did 5 years in the Coast Guard, but the first couple of years were not pleasant. You have to conform. And people with entrepreneurial spirit don't conform real well at all. And it was challenging. And it took a while to tone down the mouth and learn how to adjust to the outside world that was controlling me because I had no control over it. So, playing respiratory therapist, no big deal. What can I do on the side? Financial services looked interesting. Answered ad. Oh, wow, this is great. They hand me 4 books. Study the books, take this test, and then you'll be a financial planner. Okay. I studied the books, took the test, and all of a sudden I'm a financial planner. What the hell do I know about money? My dad, a mutual fund was a big deal. A mutual fund. And all of a sudden now I'm a financial planner. I sold 15 mutual funds and life insurance. And in record time, within the first week, I found out my clients knew more about money than I did. It was not really a big surprise. And I need to change that. I need some more education. So there's a CFP thing. What the hell is CFP? Oh, Certified Financial Planner Program. Okay. Well, they're good financial planners. They advertise a lot. They've cornered the market on financial planning. There's much better designations, but they've marketed much better. And again, if you're in business for yourself, it's all about the marketing. So they cornered the world on financial planning. So okay, let me start their program. So I applied for that. And it took me 5 years to get through the program. And they're talking about cutting your taxes a little bit here and there and putting tax-free investments and average returns 8, 10, 12%. Okay, that's what they're telling me. That's what it must be. And about 1.5 years in, 2 years in, I happened to do a trading program. Trading commodity futures. CFP people didn't tell me about commodity futures. The hell do I know about commodity futures? So I took this, then it was the old days, out of VHS tape. And I plugged the tape in, and it was training on that. And we had paper charts that got delivered once a week by mail. And you had to fill in the 5 days until your next chart came in. So I'm doing that, and all of a sudden, I'm getting 20, 30% return a month. Well, this is a whole lot different than when the CFP people were telling me. I mean, they're nice enough folks. They've been around for a while. They've marketed the hell out of their designation. They must know something. But why didn't they tell me about this? And so, wow, 20, 30% a month. This is really, really good stuff now. Okay, that'll solve a lot of my money problems because I wanted some money on the side. That's why I had a side gig. And I took a $5,000 account. Then I rounded up to $2 million in just 2 years. I thought I was a genius. I got this down now. The CFP stuff, yeah, that's nice, but that's off to the side. I can trade. I can do commodity trading. And this is really good stuff. Look at the returns I'm getting. $5,000 in 2 years later, just 2 years. Not 30, 60 years, but just 2 years. And I got the account to $2 million. And that's it. I should be able to double it now because I'm really good at this stuff. I know what I'm doing. And when trying to double it, I lost it all in 6 months. Now, you do not lose $2 million in 6 months and say, oh, it's a lovely day out there. The sun's up. No, it's not. You lost $2 million, you stupid jackass. What the hell's wrong with you? You thought you knew so much. You were so smart. How come you didn't stop when you lost $1 million? But no, you knew what was going to happen. You knew how the market's going to do. Lost it all. And me and depression were real good friends for quite a while. Now, during this period of time, I was still selling mutual funds, life insurance, and annuities, but I stopped that pretty quickly because I didn't like selling at all. It annoyed the hell out of me. It didn't feel real. It felt manipulative and sleazy and dirty. I shifted over to the tax side of things, and I've been working with small businesses, 0 to 6 employees, on the tax side, asset protection, structuring companies, and it was a much more honest thing. I did it part-time while I was still playing respiratory therapy. Well, at this point in time now, my respiratory therapy is pretty much in the background because I'm making all this money trading up to the point where I wasn't. And the money from the tax business, when you run your own business, the money goes back into the business. If there's anything extra, then maybe you take it out for yourself. But for the most part, any money you're making as an entrepreneur goes back into your business. And I did that. And I didn't have enough money to live on. So I ended up having to go back as a respiratory therapist. I worked nights and weekends at a long-term ventilator care facility. Okay. And that paid the bills while I was working on my business. And business as a tax planner is not a multi-million-dollar business, especially when you're a part-time respiratory therapist. So life got really interesting there. And it was a bit of a strain. And what do I do at this point in time? I made a lot of money. I did something right. But damn, losing $2 million in 6 months, what the hell did I do to screw it up that much? Because this wasn't a little screw up, this is a big screw up here. And, when you're an entrepreneur, you own it. Okay, if it's good, it's because of you. If it's bad, it's because of you. There's nothing else out there, it's all you. So I own this stuff. And it took me close to 10 years, okay? And I kept the charts and I went through things. And the depression was no fun, but going through the charts was interesting. And I spent about $350,000 of my money after that. And I bought everything I could find on commodity trading. And it was interesting, okay? And followed a number of different systems, some of the mystical things that are out there and all the strange indicators and things that they had. And nothing really seemed to work when I tested it out, because now I'm testing stuff. I'm in no rush to put more money into the market. I want to test it first. I want to know that it works before I put any money anywhere near the markets, because you lose $2 million and you get a little burned. And, oh yeah, the stove is hot. I'm not going to touch it again because Mom said it was hot, but I didn't believe her the first time. Now I've touched it myself. I know I'm not going to touch it again. So I tested all these programs out. Nothing was working at all. And I ended up developing my own program, and I call it short window retirement planning. And I've got it down to a process where it's automatic at this point in time, where it's difficult to screw it up. the biggest thing, that breakthrough moment, was losing $2 million. That was the first biggie. Other than when I was a kid, found out that, you can't talk like that when you're in the service. There are people they're bigger than you. Okay, that have more rank than you. And can do nasty things to you. So that was interesting. Now, I got married along the way. Second marriage. First one I fell apart quickly after about 5 or 6 years. But my second wife was a behavior specialist. She taught special ed kids. 17 years in a classroom, or 20 years in a classroom, 17 years teaching teachers how to teach. And she said, "Oh, you have ADHD." I didn't know that. And now thinking back, she picked it up immediately. If I'd have known that then, maybe I would have done something different. I don't know. But it certainly explained my transition from job to job to job to job, not being a good employee either. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're a terrible employee. You think too much. You think outside the box. You think a certain way. And you're focused on your business. 100% focused on your business. Something else going on, I don't care. It doesn't matter. I'm focused on my business. What am I going to do here? And that level of focus, I've seen in most entrepreneurs that I've run across. And I've run across a few people over the years. And again, I work with these people, small business, 0 to 6 employees. So losing $2 million was not a thrilling thing, but it certainly did change my outlook on things. Getting married to my second wife, who pointed out, "Oh, you have ADHD." I said, "No." Now, my son clearly had ADHD. Okay. And I got a son and a daughter, her daughter, my son, and things happen. The daughter's great. The son, no matter what you do, sometimes things are out of control. And he's a lost soul. He had ADHD. He has ADHD. And no matter what I did, therapy, medication, whatever, nothing worked with him. So he's doing his own thing wherever it happens to be. I have no idea at this point in time. And again, get no control over those things. But having the chance to step back and get an overview. My wife telling me, "Oh, yeah, you have ADHD." Step back. Now it makes perfect sense. Exactly why I did those things. Why I could excel in certain things. Because I was so laser focused. ADHD doesn't mean you're not focused. You're just laser focused and nothing else counts. And so if it's of interest to you, it has your attention. If it's not of interest, it just flitters away, no big deal. So I think when you're talking about entrepreneurs, you're talking about people who have, to some degree or another, have ADHD or ADD. And I probably have a little OCD too, because I things have to be structured. I like structure. That structure helped me a lot, or the desire for structure helped me a lot in putting my program together. And the program is lovely. The returns are obnoxious. I'll be the first to admit the returns are obnoxious. And people say, "Well, you can't do that. You can't get those kinds of returns." Well, you've got a cell phone. You got a computer and a tablet. Okay. Can you build those things yourself? How do they work? I didn't know how they work. I pushed a button, the damn thing works. Okay, I get to talk to people. I send messages back and forth. I don't need to know how it works. It works. Somebody smarter than me made the damn thing. And it's lovely. But in the financial planning world, I'm pretty much ostracized at this point in time. If everybody else get 8, 10%, 12%, and all of a sudden you're getting triple-digit returns, people stand up and say, "You can't do that. It's a fraud. It's a scam." I got students been doing this since 2008, and they're happy for it. I got one guy, he's an 84-year-old retired engineer, came into my program, and He'd already been trading for about 5 or 6 years. And he said, I've never seen anything like this before. Nobody ever made it this simple. Nobody ever pointed those things out and made it structured that way. He's a very happy camper at this point in time. He actually referred his 61-year-old son to me, who had just finished the program. And so no matter where you're at as an entrepreneur at this point in your life, if you step back and think, how does this all fit together? You can do pretty amazing things. You really can. And obviously at 84, he's still doing things. So it's not too late for you, despite what may have happened along the way. Everybody has problems along the way. If you have no problems, you can't learn. Okay? One of the big components in my system and why I took so long to roll it out is that I wanted to test it. None of my students go anywhere near a live account until they test it first to prove they actually have the skills, which is the only thing that makes any sense. If you're in business, you hire somebody on, you bring somebody on, you don't just let them do your job day number one because they can't do your job day number one. You have to show them what is expected of them. You watch, they model what you do, and then you check and see, did they do what I wanted to do? No, they didn't. Okay, what needs to be adjusted along the way? And you train that person. Once you train that person, then all of a sudden now you've got maybe 3/4 of you who can function. You don't have another one of you. You've got 3/4 of you, and the other quarters are family problems that you have to deal with because you do as an employer. Okay, now I've been fortunate. Okay, I have never had employees. Don't know if anybody actually worked for me or not. You're too far along the ADD spectrum at that point in time. Some people can do that, not me. Okay, some people like the inner city excitement. You do that when you're 20. Age 50 plus, you want a little bit more quiet because your body doesn't move quite the way it used to move. And you look for more quiet. There I am, I'm in Delaware right now. Okay. That's not photoshopped, and that's the view from my deck. I get up in the morning, I see sunrise over the water, and it's that midday right there, the sun's up. I turn around at the end of the day, it gets sunset over the water. It's quiet, there's nobody there, it's me and the wife. Life is good. So you can do things along the way that will get you where you want to go, providing that you decided where you want to go. Most entrepreneurs are so busy on a daily basis, and not only entrepreneurs, but people in general, that you're doing all the daily things that break their attention, and they don't get an overview of what's going on. You have email. Okay. Now, you get junk or spam mail, but even the things that get diverted in the junk or spam mail, how many emails do you get a day? There's tons of them. Everybody wants your attention. And as you try and progress through those things, you waste more and more of your time. But when you're 20, you don't think about time very much. When you hit age 50, it comes to you at some point in time, you're at the halfway point of your life. What have you accomplished so far? What do you want to accomplish? And there's generally a disconnect. And I do a thing, did a video before on this. It's called Grave to Life Planning. It throws people off. And the easiest thing I could say is, if they're putting you in the grave today, what would you want people to think about you? What would you want on your gravestone? Yeah, he always paid the bills on time. Yeah, he went on a vacation once every 5 years. No. What are you leaving behind? When you get that overview from that point, it changes your perspective considerably. All of a sudden, those New Year's resolutions, they're all trash because they don't happen anyway. They're gone. Yeah, New Year's resolutions, and a month and a half later, they're gone. What do you want to do with your life? What are you leaving behind? My goal is to help people get, protect, and enjoy their money, their life, and their retirement. It's a big goal. I can't do that for everybody. That's okay. But the people I work with can do those things. So what do you want to do with your life? Once you do that, write it down. Please write it down. Just the one or two things that you want to do with your life on a little 3x5 card. Nothing fancy. Little 3x5 card. Keep it with you. In the morning when you get up, it's a 3x5 card. It's really, really simple. It reminds you of what you want to do. As you start getting diverted during the day, you get a lunch break somewhere, bet the card. Well, yeah, that's what I should be focusing on. Is this activity here helping me to get where I want to go? No. Why the hell am I doing it then? Life is pretty simple. It really is, if you want it to be. I'm a simple kind of guy. I want life to be simple. I know there are many complex things out there. I can't control those things. We just had an election in the United States. Okay. You got Trump on one side and Harris and Biden on the other side, or Harris and whoever. Okay. Some people say it was good and evil. I don't know. I can't control any of those things. Did I vote? Yes. But I can't control the outcome, nor can I control what these people do. I can control what I do during the day. I get up in the morning, I control my day. I go out and look at the water. I'm having a good time. I sit there and I have my tea in the morning. Life is good. I have wine and cheese with my wife in the afternoon. Life is good. In between, I'll work with some students, answer some questions for them. Can I show them how to do what I do? But write the goals down on a 3x5 card. Dinner time, pull it out again. Before you go to bed, pull it out again. Reinforce consistently the one or two things, only one or two, that you want to accomplish with your life. When you do that, your life changes, because all of a sudden now you're laser focused on these one or two things, and the little stuff that everybody else is thinking is big tends to drop off. Now, I've been in business before I retired for close to 40 years. Way back when I got started, I told everybody, I don't answer the phone, I don't answer the door. If it's not scheduled, it doesn't happen. But you can't do that. Yeah, I can do that. If somebody's knocking on my door, I'm not expecting them. What the hell's the matter with what I'm doing? What I'm doing is more important than them knocking on my door, unless they're telling me my house is on fire. And I'd have smoke alarms to let me know about that. Okay. If I'm on a call with you, I'm on a podcast with you, why would I ever take somebody else's call? You're my focus at this point in time. Nobody else. You. You're gracious enough to have me on your podcast. I want to make sure you have a good show. Okay. Nothing else counts. When you do that, you control your life. It drives people crazy that don't control their lives. But then they're not paying your bills, so it doesn't really matter that much. Are these people going to help you get to your goal? And it's always nice to have somebody along the way, a mentor along the way. And again, that's why I have podcasts like this. Okay, Zach's a great guy, okay, who can show you a number of things. And because he does his podcast, he's got a number of different people that also show you different things along the way. Are you going to use every one of them? No. But every now and then, you keep listening, somebody comes on, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I can use that. That's why he come back to a show. He consistently provides value through the people that he has on this show that can help you some way, shape, or form. You might not realize what that help could be immediately. But if you sit back, get an overview of your life with your two goals, one or two goals, that's it. What can this person give me? What can Zach help me to do? What could his guest help me to do? Chances are you'll find something that will help you along the way. So I think that's pretty much the breakthroughs here.
Haha, that was an incredible overview of so much of your life, your breakthroughs, your family, some insights into some of your work, your breakdowns as well, the breakthroughs, of course. So thank you so much for sharing that. I could listen to you for hours. I think it was there was a lot we covered there. There was a lot you covered there. I think you know what's interesting? I researched ADHD. This is quite an interesting thing. It takes about 1 week for kids. They did this experiment, and in the classroom, they blocked out all the windows and just had fake light like LED fake lights for the whole week. At the end of that week, all the kids had ADHD because the fake light changed their brain chemistry. And then they took those same kids out into nature and they had the class in the sunlight, no fake light, up with the sun, down with the sun, the circadian rhythms, and all the ADHD disappeared in about 3 or 4 days. And so it was an interesting study. And I know you've tried everything with your son, but maybe I can send you some resources on that. It's quite fascinating how that's really helped my sleep over the last few years as well. And ADHD too. I definitely have a tendency to just not switch off.
Well, again, you focus on what's important to you. And the other things, people don't understand. They're not important to you. They're important to other people, but they're not important to you. If they're important to you, you do them.
Yeah.
But they're not. So you don't. Or you look at, oh, yeah, that's enough, bye. And you move on. You move on quickly because you can make decisions quickly. Entrepreneurs make decisions. They don't necessarily like to, but they just instinctively do it. And it's just part of who they are. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you have employers and you have employees. And everybody's got their position in life that they're comfortable with. Entrepreneurs tend to be employers of some sort, or at least they're out on their own. Entrepreneurs have a very difficult time being an employee because they don't take direction well. Entrepreneurs give direction and make decisions. They own those things.
Yeah.
So if there's a problem, hey, I screwed up, that's the way it goes. Nobody else to blame but me.
Yeah.
But when there's success, it wasn't your success, it was my success. I did this. Now, I've had people help me along the way, but I physically did it myself. I mean, I'm retired right now. I'm having a grand time. I have invite a few people into my program a month. Not a lot, just a few. And, yeah, it's enough for me. Somebody else wants to build a multi-million-dollar business. I don't need that. Okay. I'm comfy with where I'm at. I don't need $1 billion. I wouldn't know what to do with $1 billion. A couple million is happy. Okay. Cash flow is a nice thing to have. And you focus on what's important to you. What's important to me is look at the water. 5 years ago, where I created out running search and rescue, I knew what happens on the water. Okay. I didn't want anything on the ocean side. Guaranteed it's going to get washed away at some point in time. I researched things. Delaware, 100 years, no natural disasters. I stand a reasonable chance in Delaware. On the base side, I stand even a better chance. Now, I'm not even 30 feet off the water, if that much. Probably closer to 15. Now, the water stays where it's supposed to most of the time. I know that at some point in time, it's not going to stay where it's supposed to. But for the rest of the time, I'm having a grand time here. When it comes up to my steps, and hey, it didn't get to the top step. It's okay. It's on the bottom step. And it happens once or twice a year. I can live with that. The house isn't going to go anywhere. So you make your decisions and you live with it. Again, I'm happy with where I'm at. People would die for that. Not everyone wants water. Some people like the mountain. Some people like a lake. I don't care. Whatever you want. Make a decision. Write it down. Go and get it. Do the things you need to do to make you happy. Okay, for you and your family. What are you leaving behind for you and your family? What are you leaving behind for the world? When I go, because I'm not going to live forever, I'm going to have a number of people, normal, middle-class, working-class folk people, that can now generate $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year in 20 minutes a day without working, without the stock market. I got to have happy people now. They can pass that on to their kids and to their kids. So now people who used to work for a living now have intergenerational wealth. They never thought was possible before. I'm a happy camper. When I'm in the grave, I've done what I wanted to do. I don't mind. I have a good time.
Okay. For sure. For sure. I love that. I love the ocean. I'm always trying to have a view wherever I stay of the ocean. It definitely, they say people that live near the ocean live longer with fresher air and more active lifestyle. And It's good for the sunlight and things like that out there. So, Dr. Fred, tell us, you lost the $2 million, and then you've now got a system that helps you, I guess, generate that per year or whatever it is. You mentioned a couple $1 million a year. What is the biggest advice you have for entrepreneurs who maybe have lost a bunch of money before, and are wanting to get back that investment?
For anybody who's lost money, it's a cyclic thing, hands down. Money comes, money goes, and it's no fun when it goes. I will be the first to admit it's no fun when it goes. However, okay, you can do a number of different things, and you're always looking for some type of a side gig. The first entrepreneurs put their money back into their business, but sometimes the business just fails because the business model itself is not sustainable anymore. So once you get an overview, step outside and see what other things are available. In the U.S., they talk about no money down real estate. Okay, tons of time. I was never happy with that. Again, I did real estate for a little while, but tons of time. And after a year of aggravation, you flip the place and maybe you made 20% on your money. Well, if you got a lump sum of money, that's great. If you don't, 20% isn't going to do much for you. If you got $100,000 and you get 20%, well, that's nice, but where are you going to go with that? If you got 2.5 mil and you get 20%, I can live on that. That's okay. So if you lost money, you get an overview of what's important and where you want to go. And you look at the different options and opportunities that are out there. And there's tons of opportunities. You have to find out which one is going to work for you. Again, I'm happy with what I do with my people because they start with $5,000. If they've got more than that, that's great. You can't make it go faster with more money. You start with $5,000. That's it. 10 tops. So you can find things out there. Quite honestly, trading is the single best thing I've ever seen. And this is 40 years of financial services. I've looked at multi-level marketing. I've looked at the franchises, the tax lien certificates, tons of stuff on the internet, tons of stuff. And most of it's a scam. And it might work, but they tell you parts of things and make it look like it's great. And even a lot of trading programs, I found that, well, we have a system. Well, they really don't have a system. If you have a system, then it can get 10 people looking at your chart and without talking to each other in 10 different cities, they still come up with the same numbers. That's a system. Okay, my students can do that. Most trading programs don't allow that. They backfit their methods to the last year of the market that they're trading and show you these results. Well, these are phenomenal results. But they backfit those things to the last year. Moving forward, they don't work anymore. So you need an overview. You need to be able to test whatever you're doing. Make a decision, get the skills, test it before you ever put any money near a market. If you can't make money on paper, you got no business in the market. I guarantee you're going to throw your money away. Find a system, find a mentor, find a system, test it. You have to be able to prove it to yourself. If you can't prove it to yourself, it doesn't matter how good anybody says it is. You need to prove it to yourself that it actually works. And then you need to prove that you've got the skills to use it to make money. Only then can you go and trade anything in real time. But quite honestly, from all the businesses I've seen in 40 plus years, not only the clients that I've had in individual businesses and the businesses they've been looking at along the way, and I've analyzed for them, trading is the only thing you can actually control, which is a novel situation. Because with commodities, only commodities, you make money if it goes up or you make money if it goes down. And so that's a very nice thing because the market doesn't always go up. As people found out in 2008, as people found out when the pandemic hit, the market doesn't always go up. It goes down. And when it goes down fast. And if you're on the wrong side of things, you're just screwed. Because when you're in the market like that, you're investing, you're putting money in today, hoping that 3, 4, 5 years down the line, it was going to grow. Well, sometimes it grows. Sometimes it doesn't. Do you have that kind of time to wait? Trading is very short term. My people only are in the market for 4 days maximum. Most of the time they're in and out within a day or two. But short-term trading is much more controllable because the market crashes. What the hell do you care? You're only in there for a day or two. It's hard to get hurt, especially when you're only risking between 3 to 5% of your account on any trade. So get the overview, get a mentor, look at what's out there. Sorry to say, trading commodities is the single best thing I've seen. Not options, not crypto. Some people swear by crypto. It's make-believe money. And we can get together. You're in Thailand right now. I'm here in the U.S. We should make some cryptocurrency. We'll call it USA Thai. That'll be the name of a cryptocurrency, and we'll sell it. And people will give us real money for this make-believe money that we're having. That's what happens with cryptocurrency, folks. It's make-believe money. You're giving somebody real money for make-believe money. Now, is the world eventually going to go digital? I don't know. It could. But not this year. Not in the next 2 or 3 years. The U.S. dollar is still a nice staple. Okay, no matter who's in office. We're still paying the bills here for a little while. You never know how long it's going to take. But no matter what happens in the markets, no matter who's in office or what happens in the world, the commodity markets are there. They go up, they go down, you make money either way. It doesn't matter. So life is simple if you want it to be. But you're going to make the effort to step back and look at what's available. Find the right people, find the right system for you.
Great advice. Great advice. And I'm super curious. You've been a part of your entrepreneurial journey for quite some time. If you could hypothetically just go back in time to the beginning of your journey and change one thing, what would that one thing be?
It's an interesting question, and most likely I wouldn't really change anything. All the pain, all the mistakes, you learn from those things. If they didn't exist, if I didn't do all those stupid things before, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I honestly wouldn't change anything. Okay. It'd be nice to have one marriage instead of two. But changing marriages helped me develop other skills that I didn't realize. Helped me get an overview that I didn't realize I would never have known. Okay. Losing $2 million, that's a terrible thing. But if I didn't lose that money, I couldn't have developed the system that I have now. And I wouldn't be able to show other people how to make money. So a lot of people want to go back and change things. If you change things, you change who you are today. I'm quite happy where I am today.
Wow. That's that's great. That's really great to hear. I think it sounds like you've really taken time to learn from the mistakes or the challenges and the problems and integrate that and see the silver lining in everything. But Dr. Fred, if you could just change one thing, what would it be?
There would be nothing I would change.
Oh,
Nothing.
okay. I'm just trying to
Absolutely
push.
nothing. I could sit back and look at all the problems, but again, each one of those problems made me who I am today because I was overcome those things. It wasn't fun
Yeah,
doing it, but I'm
fair
happy with where
enough.
I am today. I'm only where I'm at today because of the problems that I've overcome in the past, the people I've met along the way that have helped me. So why would I want to change any of those things? Nobody likes the pain, but if mom didn't tell you when you touch a stove, you're going to get burned, and you listen to her, you had to touch it first. Once you did it, you understood the pain. You never did it on purpose a second time. You hit it by accident a dozen times afterwards, but you never purposely put your hand on the stove again because you learned from the pain. Same thing riding a bike or driving a car. If you have a car, chances are you've had at least one accident. You can't have a car and not have an accident. It's almost impossible. And it generally happens in the first 3 to 5 years of having a car. Did it make you a better driver? Yeah. Was it fun having the accident? No, it was stupid. But that's the way it goes. You had to learn. And it made you who you are today. You're on a podcast right now. You got dozens of shows. Did the first one go smoothly? Probably not. Okay. You're helping people right now. You're helping people because you got a number of guests on with different backgrounds. You've done this for a number of times. You've got a system down that works. You didn't have that system with day number one. You had to screw it up in order to develop the systems. You're a great host. You have great guests. You and your guests help people. If you didn't screw it up originally, you wouldn't be able to do what you do today. Life is really simple. I like simple.
Wow, wisdom right there. And that's a great reminder. Appreciate the kind words. It's been a journey. Yeah, I started doing interviews over 10 years ago, and they're night and day different now for sure. Technology helps, just having the systems, the standard operating procedures. It's been a process. But I'm really curious, Fred. So I have another question. Um, your industry is changing. Let's look about like the trading industry, right? Or what do we call it? Commodities trading. Do you see AI changing the industry, disrupting the industry? Do you have any predictions for the future with where it's going with AI? Like, I am under the impression that the markets are manipulated, or from your opinion, are they? And what predictions do you think AI is going to have on this space?
The markets are manipulated. You're making it up. It sounds like fake news to me. Who
I don't
would do
know.
such
I
a
don't know.
That doesn't sound
No.
very nice. Whoa. Who would do such a thing? Is it really a wicked witch in the West? Yeah, there is a wicked witch in the West. I saw the show. Okay. And the house came and crashed down on her. Dorothy, got the shoes. Okay. The commodity markets are rather large markets. They've been around for years and years and years. The stock market is easy to manipulate. It's very easy to manipulate. And way back when computers got started, because I go back before computers were started. That far back. Okay. Not to the dinosaurs, but computers weren't there when I got started. And they still had phones that you had to dial up. And you had to wait for it to spin back and dial it again. Okay. I go back that far. At that point in time, once the computers got started, the major brokerage houses and the prostitutes on Wall Street were doing micro trades on almost an instantaneous basis. And again, once you put a trade on, you need to wait a amount of time for something to happen. Well, outside of all the normal stock manipulation because of insider trading and a lot of the good stuff, and the information that's leaked to a certain group of people and not to others, they used to have computer trading. They still have computer trading, which is one of the reasons why the market crashes so quickly when it does crash. And they had supercomputers, and you had them positioned as close to the stock market as possible to cut down the transmission time so they could execute these trades quickly. Well, that all happened, and that was lovely. And people that didn't have those supercomputers were always taking a back seat, and it wasn't pleasant. You didn't know you were getting screwed, but you got screwed. Okay, there's money on the table that they took that you couldn't get. And that's what happens with insiders. And in the US, you've got a group of money insiders, greedy money insiders, and the system is definitely rigged. Okay, you got corrupt politicians. They're in every country. That never fails. Okay, you got greedy bankers, and you've got people on your exchanges. Us, it's Wall Street, but every company, every nation basically has a stock market of some sort, wherever they're located at. You've got people that trade those markets, and they've got inside information that you don't have, and they'll be making money that you don't make, and they have a lifestyle that you're never going to see. I don't have a problem with that. I make enough. AI, lovely. Very interesting things happen with AI, without a doubt, in the world. Is it going to change the commodity markets? I don't know. I've had people come up with commodity trading systems. I developed systems myself. When you have a basket of commodities, 4 or 5 or 8 different commodities, and you plug an algorithm in, and it tells you what to trade. Well, that's okay. I've traded those things. I've researched those. I've tested those. And maybe you get 30%, 40% return on those, which isn't bad. But again, you need a lump sum of money. and you have to be able to withstand a number of bad trades. In my system, which is, it's a rule-based system. It's not an automatic system, it's a rule-based system. So we follow certain structures and procedures all the time. They're not written in stone, but that's the structure that we follow. When you do a rule-based system, mine specifically, my students have 8, 9, 10 winning trades in a row before they have a losing trade. When they have a losing trade, they don't lose much more than they made on a winning trade. So by default, they make money. Is AI going to change any of that? I sort of doubt it. Okay. If you've ever plugged anything into AI, it sounds sort of AI-ish. It doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound real. The pictures don't look particularly real. They're getting better, but it's not 100%. Can it trade? Maybe eventually. But can you take my system and automate it completely? Not really. It's a rule-based system. There are little, tiny little judgment calls that need to be made. So I'm not too concerned. Okay. I wasn't concerned with the supercomputers because I don't trade stocks. I'm not concerned with the politicians because they've got information I'm never going to have. I'm not concerned with the bankers because they're just prostitutes and they're making money off of your money. You can't do anything about it. Okay. Why am I going to get concerned? What can I control? I can control the charts that I look at. My chart time is maybe 3 minutes a day. I don't waste a lot of time looking at charts. And my students maybe 15 minutes a day, 20 when they get started, and it drops down over time. But the idea is you have a life that you can control. You trade commodities off to the side, so it gives you the money that you need to enjoy your life, not the other way around. And business people, entrepreneurs especially, their life is their business. Well, it really shouldn't be. Okay, your life is your life. Your business is there to support your life. If you look at it that way, all of a sudden you might find, oh yeah, I'm used to working 15, 20 hours a day on a business because I really enjoy it. And you don't really enjoy it that much because you're out of balance. You get too much in one area, too much activity here. You need to step back. What do you want to do? Grave your life planning. You want to get put in the grave and say, oh yeah, he was a great businessman. Well, isn't that thrilling? Okay. What did you do? Well, I was a great businessman. Joe was a great business guy. Made a lot of money. Okay. If that's what you want in your grave, no problem. Do it. Okay. I'd rather help a number of people, have a number of people behind me doing what I do, and they can pass it on. So am I worried about AI? No. The commodity markets are going to be the commodity markets. They're going to stay relatively stable. Again, it reaches a high, reaches a low for a year. We're trading somewhere in between all the time. No big deal.
Okay. Okay. No, that's good. That's good. That's refreshing. I'm very optimistic about AI. I think, yeah, I use it daily. It's super efficient. This software specifically that we're filming on helps with all the editing and everything. It saves so much time. There's like the Tesla robot coming out and different robots coming out. That's a little bit wild. But I'm optimistic nonetheless. So do you have any book recommendations? Obviously, you've got your 9 books, but to help entrepreneurs in your space, what couple of books would you recommend for them?
I always go back to the old standard, which is Think and Grow Rich. Okay. It came out in the 50s. God, it's a long time ago. Maybe it was in the 30s, actually. I couldn't remember. But I used to gift these things to people. I bought a case of them, and they were gifts. I just hand them out as gifts. Think and Grow Rich. It's a nice, basic, solid book. Another book that is an odd book, you can find it online possibly, is Winning Through Intimidation. It gives you an interesting overview of what people do to you, so you can be on the lookout for it. Winning Through Intimidation. And Robert Ringer is the guy, and you got a little turtle on there. Little Turtle Standing Up. That's his thing on the book. So those 2 books.
What did that book do for you, Fred?
It gave me an overview of what happens basically, and how not to be intimidated, um, to see through the smoke that people throw. Because when you go out in public, everybody has this public face. Here we are in 2024, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, tons and tons of followers, looks lovely. But when you get past all that stuff, they're showing you the best parts of their life, or the best parts of the life that they think that you want to see, or that they hope to have. When it's all said and done, what's left? Okay. And most of it is people blowing smoke at you. If you want to accept the smoke, no problem. I never like accepting the smoke. You want smoke? Not a problem. I mean, there's crazies in the world. And I tell everybody, look, when you're 20, you didn't know somebody was a crazy. So you spend some time with them. By the time you hit age 50, you can spot a crazy at a distance. I don't care. You're crazy, not a problem. Do whatever you want to do over there. You're just not coming into my circle. As you get older, your circle gets smaller. There are fewer weddings and more funerals. Just the way things are. Who do you want in your circle? Who do you want to sit down and have a meal with? That circle of people is really, really small. Once you understand that, again, it's from the overview. People can do whatever they want to do. I don't care. But your rights go all the way up to where mine start. And mine stop all the way when yours start. If we can respect that, I'm a happy camper. Life is really simple. Do whatever you want. Over there, you're not coming into my circle. And as long as you're not interfering with my rights, I won't interfere with yours either. Life is simple.
Well, this is fantastic, Fred. I'm definitely going to read that book. I think that's super relevant for me and yeah, for a lot of people out there. So the Think and Grow Rich, love it. 13 principles, all about it, and then winning through intimidation. So thank you. I have my last question, but before we do, please, how can people get in touch with you, and who is your perfect client? Who is it that you work with and help the most?
Person I work with the most is generally 50 plus. I've tried some younger folks, but they're not really all that focused. When you hit age 50, you're pretty focused now because you know you're at the halfway point and you're thinking more towards retirement. Whether you're going to retire in the next 3 to 5 years doesn't matter, but you'd like the option to be able to do that. So you're thinking more in those terms. And the person I generally work with has somewhere between $500,000 and $350,000 in savings. Some of them have as much as $2 million in savings. Okay. They're an anomaly. Some of them have to actually borrow money to get into my program. I don't encourage that, but they see the value there. And then they don't need the $5,000 to open a trading account anytime soon. So that's my ideal person. Male or female, it doesn't matter. So I have a number of women in the program, and they've been screwed over the years. Again, structural things with society and everything. I like strong, independent women. My wife she's got her doctorate in special education. It's fun to have somebody you can have a real conversation with. What was the other part of your question?
So yeah, no, who it is that you help. So that's outlining who it is that you help. But how can people get in touch with you? I'll obviously put the links around here, but what's the best way people can reach out and connect and find you?
Okay. I'd like to give everybody here a free gift, actually. If you go to drfredrouse.com, that's drfredrouse.com, drfredrouse.com, you go down about 3/4 of the page, and there'll be a link there for how to lead an iconic life. It's a very short report I did. It was probably one of the first reports I did years and years ago. Okay. Still exceptionally helpful. 10 keys to living an iconic life, basically. And you should get that. And it will make a difference. It's helped a number of people. Again, I wrote this years ago, but it's just so good I keep it there. But that's an excellent gift to go there. And if you want to contact me, you can contact me from that site.
Okay, amazing. I'll put the link around here, guys. Check it out. go download it. His website's got a lot of free value, a lot of videos here, and yeah, super excited for you guys to check it out and get some amazing results. Maybe you guys at home can also, start investing and hit your goals of financial freedom between the 3 to 5 year mark as well. So that's amazing. I'm going to definitely get in touch with you, Fred. And I want to learn your ways. I want to make that 2 million in 2 years. Let's go. But anyway, last question is how, after people listen to this, what is the challenge that you'd like to suggest or invite them to go away with? A challenge for this week, this month, this year, this next 10 years? What would that challenge be?
My challenge would be to be brave enough to step back and focus on what you want in your life. That greater life planning is an exceptionally simple concept, but it's exceptionally strong if you use it. Okay. If you are brave and strong enough to be able to step back and get an overview of where you actually want to be, it will give you dramatic strength that you didn't know existed before. Because once you're focused, nothing can stop you. But you need to be focused on something first. You need to make a decision as to what you want. If you don't make that initial decision, the world makes decisions for you. As an entrepreneur, you're not happy with it. That's why you're an entrepreneur to begin with. But doing daily activities in your job, in your profession, is one thing. Step back from that. What do you want in your life? When you go into the grave, what do you want to have accomplished in your life? Once you decide what that is and focus on that on a daily basis, amazing things will happen. Things will drop into place because now you won't get diverted by all the strange things that are happening in the world. Is this going to help me get to my goal? Yes or no? If it's no, why am I going to bother with it? If it's yes, I'm going to pursue it more. But getting that overview, that greater life planning, is an amazingly powerful thing if you use it.
There we go. Awesome. I couldn't agree more. I think vision and forecasting, how whenever I've forecasted and I've got a document with my vision, 10 years and 3 years and 1 year and 90 days and weekly goals, it's a game changer. It's an absolute game changer. So it's a great piece of advice. And also writing that goal card down. I've forgotten to do that recently, so I'm going to get back into that. Yeah.
It's a simple thing to do.
Any final comments for everyone at home?
I've had a good time. You got a good show here. More people should be watching it without a doubt in the world. And
Thank you.
you've got a number of interesting guests. So if they watch your show, they will learn things.
Yeah.
Or they'll learn something with every show? Probably. Are they going to be able to use something from every show? Maybe not. But if they decide what they want to do, they can then pick and choose things. And you've got an amazing array of people that in total, they'll be able to pick and choose different things from different people that they can actually use.
Yeah.
So again, the podcast is phenomenal. If you watch it, you have to watch the podcast. If you don't watch the podcast, you can't learn new things.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I like the podcasts that are short and they're focused on one topic. And I want to create a body of work, like what you said, so many varieties of different entrepreneurs. And as they share their breakthroughs, people can jump from one to the other and, have these takeaways in a short period of time. So I'm glad you see that. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to staying connected. And these are pearls of wisdom. Enjoy your deck out the back there with your cheese and wine. We look forward to seeing you next time, Dr. Fred. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you very much.